You already know the thing that must be done. Do not pretend that the warning has not spoken. Do not pretend that the duty is hidden, that the decision is unclear, or that time has given you permission to continue as you are. Somewhere within your own judgment, you know the habit that must be broken, the conversation that must be held, the account that must be corrected, the skill that must be learned, the work that must be finished, and the weakness that must no longer be excused. The necessary thing rarely arrives as a stranger. It has been visiting you for a long time. It appears first as a quiet thought, then as a repeated discomfort, then as a delayed consequence, then as pressure. Finally, if ignored long enough, it becomes a crisis. Life is patient for a season, but it is not endlessly indulgent. What you refuse to correct willingly may one day correct you by force. Do the necessary thing before life forces you. This is not a pleasant law, but it is a merciful one if you obey it early. A small correction made in time may prevent a great suffering later. A difficult decision made today may save years of confusion. A disciplined habit formed before necessity becomes urgent may protect a man from disgrace, poverty, broken trust, and inward defeat. There is dignity in acting before compulsion. The wise man does not wait until the roof falls before repairing the leak. He does not wait until the body collapses before respecting health. He does not wait until debt becomes a master before examining his spending. He does not wait until opportunity passes before preparing ability. He does not wait until a relationship is ruined before speaking truth with courage. He listens while the warning is still quiet. Most men hear the warning, but they bargain with it. They say, "Not now." They say, "When conditions are better." They say, "After this season." They say, "It is not yet serious." They say, "I still have time." These phrases appear harmless, but they are often the language of surrender. Delay does not remove necessity. It strengthens consequence. The duty postponed does not remain the same size. It gathers interest. The unpaid account grows. The neglected skill becomes a lost opportunity. The unspoken truth becomes resentment. The unchecked appetite becomes bondage. The small disorder becomes a system. The weak decision becomes a pattern. Nothing truly necessary disappears because you avoid it. It waits. And while it waits, it becomes more expensive. I often taught that self-discipline is the bridge between desire and achievement. But self-discipline is not merely doing what inspires you. It is doing what is necessary before comfort, pride, or fear can persuade you to delay. It is the power to command yourself while the choice is still yours. There's a great difference between choosing correction and being driven into correction. The man who chooses correction keeps dignity. The man who is forced into correction often pays with humiliation, loss, and regret. Both may eventually change, but one changes as a commander and the other as a captive. Choose command. Begin by asking what duty you have been avoiding because it lacks pleasure. This is often where necessity hides. The important thing may not be exciting. It may not flatter the imagination. It may not offer immediate reward. It may only demand honesty, patience, repetition, and discomfort. Do it anyway. Necessary work does not ask whether you enjoy it. It asks whether your future depends upon it. A man may dislike keeping accounts, but financial ignorance will not respect his dislike. He may dislike studying, but opportunity will not lower its standard because he preferred ease. He may dislike confronting a harmful habit, but the habit will continue collecting power until confronted. He may dislike saying no, but every weak yes may steal strength from his definite purpose. Your dislike is not an argument. It is only a feeling. Purpose must be stronger than feeling. There are duties that must be done precisely because you do not feel like doing them. They train the will. They prove that you are not a servant of mood. They establish authority over the inner life. Each time you do the necessary thing despite reluctance, you strengthen the part of yourself that can be trusted with greater responsibility. Success looks for this strength. It does not ask merely, "What does this man desire?" It asks, "What can this man make himself do when desire is absent?" It asks, "Can he obey principle when pleasure is not present?" It asks, "Can he carry duty when no one applauds?" A man who must always be inspired cannot be relied upon. Inspiration may begin a task, but discipline must finish it. You must become the kind of person who can act without ceremony. No grand emotion, no long speech, no perfect condition. Only a clear command. This is necessary, and it shall be done. That spirit changes a life. It removes the drama from responsibility. Many people turn duty into suffering because they negotiate with it for too long. They think about it, dread it, resent it, postpone it, and then carry the burden in the mind for days, weeks, or years. The task itself may require 1 hour, but resistance to the task has consumed a season. Do not spend more energy avoiding a duty than the duty itself requires. Face it. Name it. Begin it. Completion gives relief that delay can never provide. There is a peace that follows obedience. Not comfort, necessarily. Not ease, but peace. The mind rests when it knows the necessary thing has not been betrayed. Even if the work is hard, there is strength in doing what is right before pressure becomes punishment. A neglected duty disturbs the mind. It sits in the background of every hour. It weakens confidence because you know you are not acting in agreement with your own judgment. This private disobedience becomes a hidden tax upon energy. You may continue outwardly, but inwardly you carry unfinished business. Do not carry what can be completed. Many burdens are not placed upon a man by fate. They are accumulated through delay, a letter unanswered, a debt unexamined, a promise neglected, a skill unpracticed, a truth unspoken, a decision postponed. One by one they gather until the man feels oppressed by life, when in fact he is oppressed by the weight of unfinished necessity. Lift one burden today, not all of them at once. 1. Choose the duty that has waited longest or the one that is quietly producing the most damage. Begin there. A single act of obedience can restore command. It tells the mind that the long postponement is ending. It begins a new record. Do not wait for confidence. Confidence often returns after obedience. The man who says, "I will act when I feel stronger," misunderstands strength. Strength is built by action, especially action taken while reluctance is present. The first step may feel heavy because the habit of avoidance has grown strong. Take it anyway. The second step may still resist you. Take it. Soon the mind begins to accept that the command is real. This is how self-respect is rebuilt. Not through wishing, not through regret, not through imagining a better version of yourself, through doing the necessary thing. The necessary thing may be small, but small things are not always minor. A small daily habit may determine the direction of a whole life. A small expense repeated without thought may become financial pressure. A small act of dishonesty may begin the decline of reputation. A small refusal to learn may become years of limitation. Life is built in small obediences and small betrayals. Choose obedience early. The man who waits for great crises to show character may discover that character was already weakened in small matters. Courage in a large hour is prepared by discipline in ordinary hours. A man does not suddenly become truthful under pressure if he has practiced evasion in peace. He does not suddenly become orderly in responsibility if he has tolerated disorder in privacy. He does not suddenly become brave in opportunity if he has avoided every small test. Prepare before the hour announces itself. Do the necessary thing when it is still small. This is one of the secrets of a strong life. The strong man is not the man who never meets crisis. He is the man who reduces unnecessary crisis by correcting causes early. He does not let every weakness grow until it requires rescue. He does not allow every confusion to become disaster. He governs the small beginnings. Where is the small beginning in your life? Where has disorder begun? Where has appetite begun to rule? Where has fear begun to dictate? Where has pride prevented correction? Where has comfort replaced purpose? Do not answer vaguely. Be exact. The vague man cannot change because he cannot command what he refuses to define. Say the thing plainly. I must control this habit. I must finish this work. I must learn this skill. I must repair this relationship if repair is honorable. I must withdraw from this association if it continues to weaken me. I must stop spending beyond purpose. I must begin the discipline I have long postponed. Plain speech gives the will a target. Once named, the duty becomes harder to excuse. It stands before you. It may still be difficult, but it is no longer a fog. You can act upon it. The next step is to remove the false debate. Many men continue debating what their conscience has already settled. They do not lack knowledge. They lack obedience. They ask again and again whether the thing must be done, hoping for an easier answer. But repeated questioning can become rebellion, wearing the clothing of thought. If the duty is clear, stop asking whether it is necessary. Ask how it will be done. This change moves the mind from resistance to planning. If the debt must be faced, how will it be organized? If the skill must be learned, what hour will be given to it? If the conversation must be held, what truth must be spoken and what spirit must govern it? If the habit must be broken, what condition must be removed and what new practice must replace it? Necessity becomes less frightening when it is turned into steps. A large duty may intimidate the imagination. Divide it. The whole mountain need not be lifted in one day. But the first stone must be moved. Then another. Then another. Progress begins when the mind stops suffering over the entire burden and accepts the portion assigned to the present hour. Do not despise partial progress. Partial progress made faithfully becomes completion. No man corrects an entire life in one afternoon, but he can end one lie. He can finish one neglected duty. He can record one account. He can begin one study. He can apologize where pride has delayed. He can refuse one temptation. He can place 1 hour under command. These are not small victories. They are proof that necessity no longer governs him by threat. He is learning to govern himself by choice. This is the difference between maturity and drift. The drifting man waits until consequences drive him. The mature man reads the signs and acts. He does not require the whip of disaster before he moves. He is guided by vision, conscience, and disciplined judgment. Life gives signs before it gives sentences. Fatigue may be a sign. Disorder may be a sign. Repeated conflict may be a sign. Increasing debt may be a sign. Lost respect may be a sign. Declining enthusiasm may be a sign. The same failure appearing again and again may be a sign. Do not ignore signs because they are inconvenient. Signs are mercy. They tell you where correction is needed before the cost becomes severe. If you listen early, you may change quietly. If you refuse, change may still come, but it may arrive through pressure you cannot negotiate with. The choice is not always whether change will happen. Often the choice is whether you will change willingly or under force. Choose willingly. That choice begins the next level of power, because once a man accepts that the necessary thing must be done, he must learn to do it without bitterness. It is not enough to obey while inwardly resenting the law. He must understand that necessity is not his enemy. It is the stern friend that protects him from the heavier consequences of neglect. And necessity becomes easier to obey when you stop treating it as an insult. Many people become bitter toward the very duty that could set them free. They resent discipline because discipline exposes where they have been careless. They resent correction because correction admits that something has gone wrong. They resent sacrifice because sacrifice demands that comfort surrender its throne. But necessity is not your enemy. It is the voice of order calling you back before disorder becomes judgment. The man who understands this does not quarrel with the hard thing. He studies it. He asks why it has appeared. He asks what law has been violated, what habit has been ignored, what truth has been delayed, what responsibility has been neglected. Then he puts himself under command, not because he enjoys discomfort, but because he prefers correction to consequence. You must learn to see necessity as protection. The necessary thing may feel severe because it interrupts pleasure, pride, and ease, but it often stands between you and a greater suffering. The discipline of saving interrupts spending, but protects freedom. The discipline of study interrupts idleness, but protects opportunity. The discipline of honest speech interrupts false peace, but protects respect. The discipline of health interrupts indulgence, but protects strength. The discipline of work interrupts comfort, but protects purpose. What looks like hardship today may be mercy in advance. Do not reject mercy, because it comes wearing the clothing of duty. If life is pressing you to correct something, listen. If your mind returns again and again to the same unfinished matter, listen. If the same trouble repeats under different names, listen. Repetition is often instruction that has not yet been obeyed. A lesson ignored does not retire. It returns with greater authority. A man may delay financial order until a shortage commands him. He may delay learning until younger, better prepared men pass him. He may delay self-control until appetite damages his peace. He may delay courage until silence costs him his chance. He may delay truth until trust cannot be repaired. The price rises with delay. This is why early obedience is one of the finest forms of wisdom. It does not always appear heroic. No crowd may praise the man who corrects a small waste, refuses a small temptation, completes a small duty, or begins a small discipline. Yet these quiet decisions may prevent the need for dramatic rescue later. The world often applauds recovery more loudly than prevention, but prevention is the higher intelligence. Do not live in such a way that you require disaster to make you serious. Become serious before disaster. This does not mean living in fear. It means living awake. Fear imagines danger and becomes paralyzed. Awareness sees cause and consequence and takes command. Fear says something terrible may happen. Awareness says, this habit, if continued, will produce a result I do not want. Therefore, I will change it now. Awareness is strength. Fear is often confusion. Cultivate awareness. Look honestly at the causes operating in your life. Every cause is moving toward an effect. Your spending is moving toward an effect. Your study, or lack of study, is moving toward an effect. Your associations are moving toward an effect. Your speech is moving toward an effect. Your daily habits are moving toward an effect. Nothing stands still. Even neglect is moving. It is moving toward a harvest. If you do not like the harvest that a habit is preparing, stop defending the habit. Do not ask whether it feels familiar. Ask what it is creating. A thing may be comfortable and still be destructive. A thing may be difficult and still be saving your future. Comfort is not proof of wisdom. Difficulty is not proof of error. Judge by consequence. The necessary thing is usually the act that interrupts a harmful consequence before it ripens. It may be unpopular with your appetite, but it is loyal to your future. It may disappoint your pride, but it protects your name. It may demand effort now, but it saves strength later. Obey the future over the appetite of the moment. This is the foundation of self-command. Many men fail not because they cannot see what must be done, but because they cannot bring themselves to do it before pain becomes unbearable. They require pressure. They require threat. They require loss. They require someone else to demand what their own conscience has already demanded. Do not be such a man. Do not wait for another person to discipline you. Do not wait for circumstance to corner you. Do not wait for embarrassment to awaken you. Command yourself while the choice still carries dignity. There is a quiet nobility in voluntary discipline. It says that a man has become ruler over his own lower nature. It says he can act for reasons higher than immediate pleasure. It says he can see beyond today's appetite into tomorrow's freedom. This is what separates the builder from the drifter. The drifter is controlled by whatever is nearest. If ease is near, he chooses ease. If fear is near, he obeys fear. If approval is near, he seeks approval. If temptation is near, he yields. His life is not governed from within. It is pushed from without. The builder carries an inner government. He decides by purpose. He acts by principle. He corrects by truth. He continues by discipline. Build that government. Start with one necessary thing. One thing you have delayed long enough. Do not select the easiest duty merely to comfort yourself. Select the duty that has been quietly claiming authority over your mind, the one you remember at night, the one you avoid in conversation, the one you excuse when alone, the one you know would change the direction of your life if obeyed. Begin there. If the thing is too large, divide it, but do not reduce the seriousness of it. A divided duty is not a dismissed duty. It is only made fit for action. Write the first step. Then appoint the time. Then remove the condition that has allowed delay. If the necessary thing is study, prepare the place and hour. If it is financial order, gather the figures. If it is a difficult conversation, write the truth plainly before speaking it. If it is health, begin with a discipline that can be obeyed today. If it is work, define the first completed result. Do not leave necessity in general terms. General duty rarely gets done. Specific duty commands action. A man may say for years, "I must improve my life," and nothing changes. But when he says, "At dawn I will study this subject for 1 hour," or "Tonight I will record every debt and every expense," or "Tomorrow I will finish the work I have postponed," then the vague burden becomes a definite order. Give yourself definite orders, then obey them. This may sound simple, but simplicity is not weakness. The laws that shape life are often simple. Their difficulty lies in obedience. A man does not fail because the truth is too complex. He often fails because the simple truth demands more honesty than he wishes to give. Do the necessary thing. Do it before you feel ready. Do it before the consequence grows. Do it before opportunity has passed. Do it before the habit becomes stronger. Do it before life removes the gentler options. This urgency must not become panic. Panic rushes without thought. Urgency acts with command. It sees that time matters, but it does not throw judgment aside. It makes a plan and begins. When a necessary duty has been postponed, your first act should be clear and modest. Do not make a grand promise merely to relieve guilt. Grand promises made under guilt often collapse when emotion fades. Make a command you can keep today. The kept command matters more than the impressive vow. Self-respect is rebuilt through kept commands. If you have neglected a skill for years, 1 hour of honest study is stronger than a dramatic announcement. If you have allowed disorder to rule finances, one truthful record is stronger than a speech about future wealth. If you have delayed apology, one sincere conversation is stronger than weeks of inward regret. Do what proves change. Proof heals the mind. Regret alone does not. Regret without action becomes another form of self-indulgence. It allows a man to feel serious without changing. He mourns the waste, condemns himself, remembers what he should have done, and then continues as before. Do not confuse regret with repentance. Repentance changes direction. Regret merely feels the pain of the old direction. Change direction. Even if the first step is small, let it be real. Reality gives the mind something new to believe. The old self says, I delay. The new action says, I have begun. The old habit says, this will be avoided again. The new action says, command has returned. This evidence is powerful. Every necessary thing you do willingly strengthens your belief that you can govern yourself. Every duty faced before force arrives builds inward authority. The man begins trusting his own command. He walks differently because he knows he is no longer waiting for a crisis to move him. That confidence is not pride. It is earned self-respect. Earned self-respect becomes one of the greatest sources of achievement. A man who respects himself does not need constant pressure from outside. He does not require threats to complete duties. He does not need shame to correct conduct. He does not need emergency to become industrious. He becomes self-starting. This quality attracts responsibility. Others trust the man who can govern himself. They may not say it, but they observe it. They notice whether he acts early or late, whether he hides from difficulty, whether he admits facts, whether he corrects course without being forced. The world prefers to place weight upon a man who does not wait to be driven. Become that man. Do not think only of the present duty. Think of the reputation being formed by the way you meet duty. Every delayed correction teaches something about you. Every early correction teaches something else. If you avoid necessary action until consequences force you, people learn that you require pressure. If you act when principle first calls, they learn that you carry command within. One reputation limits opportunity. The other attracts it. The necessary thing is therefore not merely about escaping trouble. It is about becoming fit for greater trust. The man who handles small necessity early may later be trusted with larger possibility. The one who mishandles small duty should not be surprised when larger doors remain closed. Life examines foundations before adding weight. If the foundation cracks under ordinary duty, why should greater responsibility be placed upon it? Strengthen the foundation. Begin with the neglect